November 16th, 1982. This is Joe Todd. Interview with James P. Ponder. Mr. Ponder, where were you born?
Cowlington, Oklahoma.
What's the name of the town again?
Cowlington.
How do you spell that?
Coulington.
What year were you born? When's your birthday?
January 11th, 1889.
What are your first memories of Cowlington?
Well, I don't remember anything about it at all. We left there. Oh, I guess I was 2 years old when we left there.
Where'd you move to?
I guess we moved a little old place in Mannsville.
Mannsville?
Mannsville. Mannsville.
Where's that located?
It's in east of Ardmore, 18 miles.
Mr. Ponder, who was your father?
Jim Ponder.
Where was he from?
I think he was born in Mississippi. I'm not sure. I think, though, he was born in Mississippi.
And who is your mother?
That's her right there, Ludy Bailey.
Where was she from?
She was born in Mississippi.
So both your parents were from Mississippi?
Yeah.
Where did you go to school?
Went to school in Mannsville.
What was the name of the school?
Darn, I don't know. I don't remember whether they had a name or not. Just a school.
Was it a country school?
Huh?
A country school?
Catholic. Oh, no.
No, a country school.
Oh, a little old town there in Mannsville.
How many students were in the school?
Oh, probably 50, 60.
Remember your teacher's name?
Let me see. She was a widow lady, or an old maid, one or the other. I can't recall her name.
Do you recall some of the games you played as a child going to school?
Oh, we just played ball, and we played what they call black man. I don't know whether you know anything about that or not.
How do you play black man?
Well, you have a man on each side, and he tries to run through, and they catch him. They catch him, and he's their man, and then they'll put another one in there.
Is it the people lined up in two parallel lines?
Yeah.
And you try to run through, or?
Yeah.
And is each line a separate team, or what?
Yeah, separate teams.
And then each side tries to catch you?
Yeah.
Okay. You played baseball?
Yeah.
What else you play? You play a crack the whip?
No, we played one and over. That's running and jump on another. Get a man down and then leapfrog.
How long did you live in Mannsville?
I left there, I guess I was 14.
Where'd you move to then?
Huh?
Where'd you move from Mannsville?
Well, I went to my granddad down in Arkansas, Hope, Arkansas.
What was his name?
Bailey. L.J. Bailey.
Can you tell me about him? What the farm was like down there?
Huh?
What was the farm like in Arkansas?
The what?
Did you live on a farm in Arkansas?
No. Carpenter.
Carpenter. In Hope?
Yeah.
Was your father a farmer?
Yeah.
What kind of crops did you raise around Mannsville?
Now, I don't know. In fact, I don't remember anything about him. He died, and I was about, I was about 21 days of being a year old when he died. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. And Mother married a man named Shears, John Shears. And he lived on the farm.
What did he farm?
Well, he's in there, is all I knew, right around Mannsville. Mm-hmm. And he leased the lands from the Indians and then put it in cultivation and got so many a year lease on it. And
when did your parents come to Oklahoma Territory or Indian Territory?
Well, we was born in Indian Territory.
Okay, when did your parents come here?
Oh, I don't know. I just don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they come before, well, we was in, when I was born, we was in the territory then. Mm-hmm. So they must have come in there.
Yeah. What kind of house did you live in Mannsville? Was it a frame house or a brick house?
No, it was frame, mm-hmm. Or a box house.
How big was it?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 rooms.
What was the kitchen like? Can you describe it?
Oh, it just had just a work table in there and a stove, all there was in it. Then we had the long dining room, was a long table, and they're connected, and they was what they called a shed room. The main part of the house was 2 stories, and then that was just a 1 story. Mm-hmm. And they called that side room. But it was a dining room and kitchen. Then the bedrooms was 2 story, 1 downstairs and 1 upstairs.
What's your fondest memory of your childhood?
Huh?
What's your fondest memory of your childhood?
Well, I don't know.
Or just tell me something about your childhood that you remember.
Well, I remember I had 2 stepsisters and 1 stepbrother. And the stepbrother was just about as crooked an outfit as you'd ever heard of. And it didn't matter what he told you, you didn't know whether it was truth or not. And he'd steal anything you had and sell it. But I had 1 good sister, she was a dandy. And they were half-sisters. And that youngest boy and this youngest girl, they were brothers and sisters. And they were half brothers and sisters to this oldest girl. And I had 1 sister. Mm-hmm. And I don't know anything, I guess just going swimming or something like that.
What kind of mischief did you get into?
Didn't get into anything.
You didn't?
No.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember Statehood Day?
Statehood, yeah.
What did you do on November 16th, 1907?
Well, I was living with Granddad, and we was living at Mill Creek. On the farm at Mill Creek. He was, that is L.J. Bailey. That's him right up there. That's the Bailey family, that little bunch. Mm-hmm. Granddad's the second one in the lower row. Now it's Lewis and Paul and Hayes and Robert and Joe. Callie and Emma My mother on the end and my grandmother second.
Did you have any celebrations on Statehood Day?
Have what?
Did you go celebrate on Statehood Day?
No. Oh, Labor Day?
No, Statehood Day.
No, no.
Was your grandfather for statehood?
Yeah? No, let me see. No, I was 14 when it was, I guess it was before statehood. Because I went to him when I was 14. And statehood was after that.
Yeah, statehood was 1907. You would have been 17 years old.
Yeah.
So you were in Arkansas then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you meet your wife?
I met her in Wapanaka.
What was her name?
Wallace.
Or what was her first name?
Nell Wallace.
When did you get married?
19 and... Allowed to darn. 19 and... I guess 1905, somewhere along there.
How old were you when you were married?
27.
27.
Yeah.
You're about 1916?
I guess, I don't know. I just don't remember those things.
What were you doing in Wapanaka?
Well, I was in business there for a while. And then, I guess I was there all the time I was there. I had a little old confectionery business.
What was the name of it?
Wapanaka. No, Corner Confectionery.
What was Wapanaka like at that time?
Well, it's just, I don't know, 400 or 500 people there, something like that. Had 2 railroads. And Tishomingo was the county seat. That is about 10 or 12 miles from Wapanaka. It's a good farming country.
Mm-hmm. Your wife's grandfather was Allen Wright?
Huh?
Your wife's grandfather was Allen Wright?
Yeah, her great-grandfather, Allen Wright.
Did you know him?
No, he was dead before I was... I don't know just when he did die, but he died before I ever knew any of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And your sister was related to the Wright family then?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What was your wife like? Can you describe your wife to me?
Oh, she was just a country girl. They was raised right there in the edge of Wapanaka. And just just had a high school education, that's all.
Mm-hmm. How far did you go in school?
8th grade.
8th grade.
Yeah.
Did you know Muriel Wright?
Muriel Wright, yes.
What was she like?
Oh, she's one of the smartest people I ever knew. Now, she was really smart. And she could just sit down and tell you these Indian names back for I don't know how far. She really knows. She was a half-breed. No, she was... Yes? Now, let me see. Was she a half-breed or... Oh, she's a half-breed, I guess. but she was sure smart.
She was Choctaw and what?
Huh?
She was Choctaw.
Choctaw. Yeah. She was a graduate, college graduate. She was really smart. Well, all of those Wright people, they were boys and girls, all college graduates. Allen Wright himself was one time the smartest man there was in Oklahoma. He had what they call a master's degree, and the only one in the state that had it.
Mm-hmm. Do you know anything else about Allen Wright?
Huh?
Do you know any other stories about Allen Wright?
Where to get a story?
No, do you know any stories about him?
Oh no, only just, I knew he built that home there in the old Boggy Depot, and he built a mill, and he owned some slaves, but then he was a preacher, and they wasn't slaves, they just done as they pleased, they just lived with him. He farmed a big outfit there, had a big farm on the Boggy River. A very successful man and a very smart man. And he was a preacher and a good one. And then he had these boys, one of them was a preacher. Allen Wright come from Mississippi, and his mother and father died both on the trip from Mississippi, and there's some man that adopted him and put him through college, put him through school. I don't know the man's name, but he must have been an awful good man. And Allen Wright married a girl from Illinois. She come down there to teach school. And she met him, and he was, he's just like white people. He's full-blood Indian, but he just acted like white people, lived like white people. And they married, raised a bunch of kids. And they was every one of them a college graduate. He had a doctor, he had a preacher, he had an attorney, and he had a civil engineer and his boys. Mm-hmm. It was a mighty smart family.
Who was your wife's father?
Tom Wallace. He was a full-blood Scotchman.
Mm-hmm. Who was your wife's mother?
My wife's mother? Ludy of, what was her given name? Carrie Bailey.
Now, how was your wife related to Allen Wright?
Huh?
How is your wife related to Allen Wright?
Well, she was his great-granddaughter.
So who was your wife?
His mother, her mother, was Allen Wright's daughter. Mary Wallace. Mary Wright.
Did she go to college?
Huh?
Did she go to college?
Oh, yes. Yes, she was a college graduate.
Did you ever go to the Wapanaka Academy?
No.
You ever been out there where it was?
The old...
Yeah.
I've been out to it, yes.
Was the building still standing when you went out there?
Yeah.
What did it look like?
Just a long rock building. There's... I don't know how many rooms to it, but there's big classrooms, and I don't know how much land they had there. It was on that Delaware Creek, and it was all Indians. But when I was there, the school is gone. That is, all the kids, wasn't anyone there. And they called it Wapanucka, same as the town there.
How come they closed that school?
I don't know. I don't know whether they run out of funds or just what, but they closed it.
Mm-hmm. Was that strictly a girls' school or boys' school or both?
I think it's a boarding school.
A boarding school?
I think it was.
Was it for boys and girls?
No, I don't know. I suppose the government paid tuition for those kids. I don't know.
You were in World War I.
Yeah, in the Navy.
In the Navy.
Yeah.
To regress, do you remember the Spanish-American War?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Can you tell me what you remember about it?
Huh?
Can you tell me what you remember
well,
about it?
All I remember is there was a family that lived there, right close to us in Mannsville, and they had one son, and he went to that Spanish-American War and was killed.
What was his name?
Now, I couldn't tell you to save my life. His mother was a little bitty woman. And I'm the darned if I just can't tell you what her name was. But they had that one boy, and he was killed. And that's all I know about of course, I heard how those fellows fought. They said they'd dig a pit, cover it over on a trail, and then when these soldiers would come through, they'd get out, and it looked like this dirt. They'd get out on it, and it'd cave through, and they had big stakes in there, sharp. They'd fall on that, cut themselves all to pieces.
Did your family have a celebration at the turn of the century?
No.
New Year's Eve, 1900?
No.
Did you ever meet any of the chiefs of the Choctaw Nation?
No. No, I guess I never did.
Like the McCurtains or the LaFleurs?
I met some of the I can't a woman there she was a half breed of one of those men, and she was city or the county clerk at Tishomingo, and she married a boy by the name of thunder. I can't remember those names.
You ever go to Fort Washita?
Huh?
Ever go to Fort Washita?
Yeah. I despise it. There wasn't anything to it, though. When I was there, it was all torn down.
When were you there?
Well, I don't remember that. It was after everything had moved out. Mm-hmm. But, of course, there were some of those old rock buildings. Everything, as I remember, was built of rock. And some of those are still standing, but then they weren't in use.
Who lived there then when you went there? Anyone live at Fort Washita?
No. No, there wasn't any. Everything was gone out.
Mm-hmm. What about Fort Towson?
Huh?
Ever go to Fort Towson?
Fort Towson, no.
How about Fort Gibson?
No.
Mm-hmm. You joined the Navy in what year?
I guess 1910.
And how long were you in the Navy?
4 years.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you serve during the war?
Huh?
Did you serve during the war?
No. No, I was discharged when the war started.
What did you do in the Navy?
Carpenter.
Ever on a ship?
Well, I was for a while, then they just sent me all over everywhere to build things. I went to Fort Royal, South Carolina, and there was just a lot of big, tall brick buildings there, no decks or anything at all in them. And they gave me a crew of men, and I went down there and built decks and those things. And I don't know how long I was down there. In fact, I got my discharge there in Fort Royal.
Where did you take your basic training?
Didn't take any basic training.
You didn't?
No. I just went in there as a carpenter and worked in a carpenter shop. And they first sent me to Kitzer, Maine, and we had a shop there on a ship. And I can't even remember the name of the ship. But it's just stationed there. It didn't go out at all, just sitting there. And they had a carpenter shop and, everything on there. Then they sent me to, let me see, I went from there to Charleston, South Carolina. And I was a carpenter there. Oh, I don't know. They just send me everywhere.
So, you actually did you go overseas?
Huh?
Did you go overseas?
No. I didn't go overseas. I was in the United States all the time.
So it didn't go to Panama?
No.
Remember when they were building the canal?
No. In fact, it's very little time that I went any place on a boat.
Mm-hmm.
I know when they sent me to Kitzer, Maine, we went on a boat there, caught it at Norfolk, Virginia, went on a boat there, and I worked there, quite a while, carpenter. Then they put me on a coal carrier and sent me down then to Fort Royal, South Carolina, and that's where I wound up.
You come back to Oklahoma after you were discharged?
Yeah,
What'd you do?
Carpenter.
Carpenter?
Yeah.
Well, when did you open up this confectionery shop?
Huh?
When did you open your confectionery shop in Wapanaka?
Just after I married, I got that confectionery shop. Well, I had two there. I had one, sold it out, and then went back there a year or two after that and bought out another one and run that for a while.
What did you do during World War I?
Huh?
What did you do during World War I?
I was raising hogs. That's why I didn't have to go. I registered, and I thought I'd have to go back. But I was raising hogs, and they said I was worth more there raising those hogs than I would be in the service, so they never did send me.
Where was this, by Wapanaka?
Yeah, out of Wapanaka. Out on a little old farm out there. I had purebred hogs.
What breed?
The Rhode Island Red.
Durocks?
Duroc. I was thinking of chickens instead of hogs.
How big was your farm?
There was 120 acres, I guess.
Was it north of Wapanaka?
Huh?
Was it north of Wapanaka?
No, it was east. East walking, down near old Boggy Depot.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. How many kids do you have?
5.
5.
Yeah.
How many?
One adopted 2 girls and 2 boys, and then this stepson. 5.
How many grandkids?
God, I don't know how many I do have. Let's see, I've got 3 and 2 is 5. 3 is 8. I got 8 or 10 grandkids. 5.
How many grandkids?
God, I don't know how many I do have. Let's see, I've got 3 and 2 is 5. 3 is 8. I got 8 or 10 grandkids, 10 or 12 grandkids. And one girl, my oldest boy, married, and they didn't make it. They separated. They had one girl, and then she just lived with her mother, and she's got a bunch of kids. I don't know how many. She was my wife's, my son's wife. Of course, that wasn't any blood kin to me. But she had a bunch. I'm sorry I can't give it more information, but I just can't.
Oh, I'm getting a lot of good information here. Anything else you can tell me about the old Boggy Depot, or?
Well, I lived there in that old big house 1 year.
Is that the house that Allen Wright built?
Yeah.
Is that house still there?
No, there's an old lady. After I left there, she rented that place and went in there, and Jim Wright, he wouldn't rent her to her anymore. She said she was a mean, overbearing woman. He wouldn't let her have it anymore, and she burned that house. So an old man there told me, he said he'd bet $1,000 she burned that house.
Mm-hmm.
So I repaired that house when I went down there.
How big was that house? Can you describe it?
Well, it was 4 bedrooms and a kitchen and a dining room and a hall, or a little library, they call it the hall. And every one of those rooms had a fireplace in it, downstairs and upstairs. But I sure didn't cut wood for all of those fireplaces. But Wright had niggers to cut it, and he kept all of them going.
How many rooms downstairs?
Well, there was the kitchen and dining room and 2 bedrooms downstairs.
Mr. Ponder, can you just draw me a floor plan of the bottom floor of the house?
Well, it's just in that room there, and then there was a room over that and a room over that, and then this kitchen and dining room was back out here.
About how long was the house?
Well, let's see, it was 1632, about 40 feet long or 42, something like that, this way.
And then how deep were the rooms?
16 by 16.
16. It had, what, 4 big rooms, 2 downstairs and 2 upstairs?
Yeah,
And the hallway in the middle and the kitchen in the back?
Yeah.
Have a porch in the front?
Yeah, porch upstairs and downstairs.
When did Mr. Wright build that?
Huh?
When did Mr. Wright build that house?
I don't know when he built it. It's a long time ago, though.
Was it rock or wood?
Wood.
Wood?
They went out into the timber there and cut that stuff out for the sails, cut trees and made to plaster to. It was a well-built house. And those corner studs was made out of just a big, long tree. And they had braces each way from them. It was well-built. And those sills for that house was 12 12s, oak.
Were those corner studs oak?
Huh?
Were the corner studs oak?
Yeah, It's all the studding, and in fact, pretty near everything was oak except the floors. It's a well-built house and a stout house.
How tall were the ceilings?
I guess about 10 feet, 8 or 10, somewhere along there.
Did the porch go along the entire front of the house?
Yeah, all the way across the front.
So each room was 16 feet, and how wide was the hallway?
About 10 feet.
10 feet?
Yeah.
How big was this kitchen on the back of it? How big was that?
Well, let's see, I guess that kitchen was 12 or 14 feet by about 10 or 12 feet. And the dining room, I don't know how big it was. It was, I guess, 16 feet across it and probably 10 or 12 feet the other way.
Where was the dining room?
Right, dining room was fit right onto the back of the house, right in there.
So which one was a kitchen?
Well, the kitchen, it was this way. That was the kitchen there. That was a little porch there. And that was the kitchen there, and this was the dining room.
Okay, what were the 2 rooms downstairs? What were they?
They were 16 by 16.
What were they used for?
Bedrooms.
Bedrooms?
The living room and the bedroom, but then...
Which one was the living room? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was this on the east end, east side.
And then were the 2 rooms upstairs bedrooms?
Yeah. That was the living room and bedroom together.
So you had 3 bedrooms, and that one was a living room and bedroom combined?
Yeah.
The porch have pillars on it? The big round pillars, or what? What did the porch look like?
Well, it had built box columns down for to hold the porch up.
Mm-hmm.
Downstairs and upstairs.
Yeah.
I don't know where they hauled, what lumber they had. They had to haul it in there, though, from somewhere.
Mm-hmm. What did you do in the 20s?
Huh?
What did you do in the 20s?
In the 20s? I guess I carpentered.
Were you still raising hogs?
Don't remember now what year I raised those hogs. I didn't raise them but 2 or 3 years. I quit that and went back to carpenter trade.
What'd you do in the Depression?
Now, what did I do? Darn if I know, I didn't. I just got a little job wherever I could. I know there's building schoolhouses, and I walked 7 miles to that job in the morning and back home of the night. Mm-hmm. And then I had I don't know how many school buildings I helped to build. And I boarded with one school building, but I lived at home with the others, and I'd walk to them. Walked to Wapalaka from Paola. We lived in Paola then. And I'd walk from there to Paul's Valley, or out to I forget the name of some springs. There's a spring out there, and that is the name of the schoolhouse, but I forget the name of the spring.
Did you work with the WPA group?
Yeah.
How was that set up? What'd you all do with WPA?
Well, they'd get a job for us and send us out there to do it.
How would they get you the job?
Through the government some way. I don't know just how they done it. Mm-hmm. But it's what they call maid work.
Maid work?
Yeah. They'd get us, build school jobs all over that country, and then send us out to build them.
Did you help build any armories, National Guard armories in the state?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember, Bunny. Mm-hmm. No, Fort Sill, I guess, that was Fort Sill. Mm-hmm. That is a big base there. I helped build big barracks there on that, too.
At Fort Sill?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, when did you work at Fort Sill?
And let me see. I don't know, 25, 26, somewhere along in there, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't remember. But that was a good job at Fort Sill. Then the government bought a lot of that land up and down the river, that Washita River, and built houses and barns and everything on that, and they sent us out there to build those. Mm-hmm. We cut those houses out. They had a big shop there in Wapanaka, and we cut those houses out there in the shop, then take them out and set them up.
Did you work with the CCC?
No,
Do you remember the Depression of 1907?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh boy, it was awful. I know I don't know how long there that I didn't make a dime. I just couldn't get a job anywhere. I owed one grocery store there about $300. And that's when I went to Lawton and paid that off. Boy, I got $1 an hour there in Lawton, and I paid that grocery bill off of that.
What'd you do in Lawton?
Carpenter. Helped build those barracks dining rooms and just anything they had to build.
So you worked mainly on Fort Sill then, in Lawton?
Yeah, yeah. That was a good job.
How many buildings did you help build in Lawton?
Lord, I don't know. I worked on 2 big barracks buildings, and then we built houses for officers and non-coms. We built just one after another of those, and I just don't remember how many we did build.
How long did you work there?
Oh, I guess I was there a year or better.
Where did you get your training as a carpenter?
Huh?
Where did you get your training to be a carpenter?
Got it from my granddad. He was a carpenter. All that bunch of boys there was carpenters. And he was a carpenter. He contracted, and we all worked with him.
That's Bailey?
Uh-huh.
Where'd you live then when you were training to be a carpenter? Was that in Arkansas?
I started in Hope, Arkansas. Yeah. Granddad was living there, and I went to him. I had a stepdaddy, and we couldn't get along. And that stepbrother, didn't matter what he told his daddy, that was true. And I got to beating for it. But then I gave him one when I got him out, too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Well, I just done farm work there for him until I was 14. Then I got out of there. And take care of stock. He had a big bunch of stock all the time. Horses and cows and hogs.
You say you beat up your stepbrother one time?
Huh?
You say you beat up your stepbrother one time?
Oh, several times. When he'd lie, I tried to kill him once. That's the only man I tried to kill in my life. I had a big boy right there on the back of my neck, and he slipped up behind me and hit that with a stick. Boy, like killed me. And I threw rocks at his head and clubs. I'd throw a club and it'd just go around him. A rock would just miss him. And I was always pretty good hit things, but I never did hit him. I intend to knock him down and kill him. And I'm awful glad that I didn't hit him. But I sure intended to.
What was his name?
Oscar Shears.
Whatever happened to him?
Well, the last I heard of him, he was over in Chickasha, peddling whiskey, and going to McAllister. They had him in McAllister, I don't know how many different times. One time, they arrested him, and he had 7 brand new suits in a trunk he had there. They said he could steal anything in the world and get away with it. And he had 7 suits. He'd steal those suits and then go sell them to someone. And he tried hijacking them for a while, but that was too dangerous. He quit that. But he wouldn't work. Well, his stepdaddy wouldn't. His daddy wouldn't work. I never knew him to do a day's work all the time I knew him. But you done the work. You betcha. I done the work.
Do you remember the dust storms of the 30s?
Huh?
Do you remember the dust storms of the 30s? The Dust Bowl?
Yeah.
What were they like?
Well, they just come up, it's dirt, I guess, or dust, and right black, and maybe there'd be a little bit of rainfall, and that was mud. Boy, that was awful.
How'd you keep it out of your house?
Couldn't do it. You just got into your house.
Would your wife do anything to try to keep it out?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
What would she do?
Like to run her crazy, trying to keep it clean. Oh, those dust storms, I'll tell you, they was something awful.
Mm-hmm. What did you do on
Huh?
Go ahead. You were talking about the dust storm?
Yeah, I was right in those dust storms. Just one after another.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming from the western part of the state too there, and brought in what we call it is some kind of a burr. And they just took that whole country. Those vines be about so long, and burrs all over them. First time I got acquainted with them, we went out to the west there, and was in a car and had a flat, and we was going to fix it. And I sit down right on the curb of the highway there, and I sit right down on top of a bunch of those darn birds.
Do you remember Armistice Day?
Huh?
Do you remember Armistice Day, the end of World War I?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you do?
Well, one thing I done, I quit smoking at the end of that. And I was in the hospital then, and sick, and I'd take a cigarette, smoke it, and boy, it just taste awful. So I just quit. And I didn't do anything, of course, couldn't do anything. I had 12 major operations.
What were you in the hospital for?
Locked bowels, and just first one thing and another. They cut out a lot of my bowels. They'd lock, when they'd lock, they'd wait, maybe they'll straighten out, but they wouldn't. They'd have to go in there and cut that out.
What were you doing when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor?
Huh?
What were you doing when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor?
Let me see, I was in California then. The day they bombed California, we went to what they call big canyon there, to picnic in. We was going out there, and we stopped in a little old town of Azusa to buy some groceries for dinner. And I got the news then of the bombing. I was carpenter there in California.
When'd you go to California?
Now, let me see. I guess, I'm not sure when I did go out there. But I made 3 or 4 trips out there. I'd go out there and work a while, and then I'd come back to Oklahoma, then I'd go back. I made 3 or 4 trips back and forth there.
Mm-hmm. What did you do during World War II?
Huh?
What did you do during World War II?
World War II. I guess that was when I was raising those hogs.
That was World War I, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was right after I discharged. That was World War I.
Oh, were you a carpenter during World War II?
I guess I was carpenter some place. I just followed that carpenter's trade around. I worked in Arkansas, Arizona, California, Florida, Wherever they had a work to do, I went to it.
What'd you do was there a big celebration when World War II was over?
Well, I don't know of anything. Of any kind then. Just tried to live.
When was the first time you came to Oklahoma City?
Now, let me see. I don't know. It is, I guess, in the 20s sometime, but I don't know just when.
What was your first impression of it?
Huh?
What was your first impression of Oklahoma City?
Well, just a larger town than I was used to. We didn't stay there long. I got out into the smaller towns to work.
You mentioned Tishomingo.
Yeah, I've been to Tishomingo many times.
First time you went there, what was it like?
Oh, just, I don't know, town, I guess 10,000 people, something like that. And I had one railroad there, and there's the county seat, and it's a pretty busy little town. I helped build some houses there.
Did you ever work on the Chickasaw Capitol?
No.
When was that built?
I don't know.
Was it there when the first time you went to Tishomingo?
Yeah, I think it was built then when I went there. Yeah, I know it was. Yeah.
Do you have any comments you'd like to make on your childhood or early days
Have what?
Do you have any comments you'd like to make on your childhood or early days that you might want to tell your grandkids? Any advice you want to give them?
Well, just be honest in everything you do, and you get along better. That's all I know. But I've got those 5 kids. Every one of them's got a good job. And the grandkids, I don't know about them. Well, I've got one grandboy that's he's down with that in Florida. What's the name of that place where they fly those planes away from there, those big ships?
What?
Airships.
Oh, Cape Canaveral?
Yeah.
No, he's in the space industry.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of the songs that you learned as a child? Any tunes? Remember any songs you sang as a child?
Let me see. You mean religious hymns?
No, just anything.
Well, one I remember is when you wore tulip. I sang that all the time. And, when I was a kid, they had all kinds of them.
Can you sing one for me?
Lord, no, I wouldn't remember.
Remember any poems?
Huh?
Do you remember any poems? How about any stories about the Choctaws?
Any what?
Any stories about the Choctaws?
I lived in that Mannsville, and there's a Choctaw family lived right out of town. They had a boy there, went to school, and I sit right behind him. And I'd sit there and watch the lights play on his head. And we'd go over there, the old man, Todd, he'd get sick, and I forget what they call that now, but then we'd go over there to that, and they'd dance around the fire, and just pull off stunts, first one thing and another.
Where was this?
Then I knew another family. He was a preacher, and one of the best men I think I ever knew, Colbert. Oh, he was a good man. And he'd go preach through the country, and his daughter would go with him. And they was going on one trip, going in a buggy, of course, and a team ran away and killed him. Never hurt the girl. That's the funny thing. Never hurt the girl, but killed him. But he was sure a good man and friendly. He was a full-blood, but he married a white woman.
What was his name?
Colbert. Colbert.
What was his first name? Where was this?
Then I knew another family. He was a preacher, and one of the best men I think I ever knew, Colbert. Oh, he was a good man. And he'd go preach through the country, and his daughter would go with him. And they was going on one trip, going in a buggy, of course, and a team ran away and killed him. Never hurt the girl. That's the funny thing. Never hurt the girl, but killed him. But he was sure a good man and friendly. He was a full-blood, but he married a white woman.
What was his name?
Colbert. Colbert.
What was his first name?
I believe it was Lewis. I believe it was.
Did you know any of the Folsoms?
Huh?
Did you know any of the Folsoms?
No.
Were you told any stories about Allen Wright, anything that he did?
Hmm?
Were you told any stories about Allen Wright, anything that he did?
No, I didn't know too much about him, only just his mill and things like that he done, and his family. I knew those boys and girls, but I didn't know much about him. In fact, it was all over before I knew him. He died.
What about any stories about your wife
Huh?
What about stories about your wife as a little Choctaw girl growing up? Did she tell you any stories about herself?
No.
Well,
Fact of the business is, her daddy didn't care for much of anything. He was a full-blood Scotchman. He didn't care much of anything, only just if one of them got a nickel, he got it.
Well, Mr. Ponder, I think we have a good interview here.
Huh?
I think we have a good interview here. I want to thank you.
Well, I hope it'll be some interest to you.
Yes, sir. It
Some
certainly will.
benefit.
Yeah.
I'm glad, I'm sorry that I just don't remember a lot of that stuff.
Oh, you've been a lot of help.
And the older I get, the less I remember.